Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Okay, so a few more comments on the Electoral College. This will be particularly short, which means it's probably going to go near 10 minutes. Disclaimer, these are all going to be on, hopefully, I'm going to try to put these on Edpuzzle. If they're not on Edpuzzle, you're going to just watch them off of my website. But you will be getting grades for each of these, so you must have them watched by Monday. But I do want to talk about the election of 1992 because we talk about minor parties and third parties and how they're inhibited for a variety of ways. The ballot access laws, that the two major parties make it difficult for minor parties to get on the ballot in every state. All of these things that restrict the likelihood of a minor party or third party candidate of getting any traction in presidential elections. And this year, this example in 1992 of the presidential race is a prime example of why minor parties really, they're in bad shape. In 1992, you have another very wealthy person who runs. His name was H. Ross Perot. There he is right there. He was a pretty hokey guy, but he was from Texas and he was a billionaire, and he decided to run. And he originally was getting tremendous support. He was beating Bill Clinton and Papa Bush, George H.W. Bush, who was the incumbent, early in the polls when he decided he was going to run. And if you look, the final electoral map is all blue and red. And Bill Clinton ends up winning the election. But if you look down here, you see that H. Ross Perot, who ran as an independent, got 19 million votes, almost 19% of America. 1 in 5 voters voted for H. Ross Perot. But you see, he got 0 electoral votes. Why? The reason why is because he didn't get the most votes in any state. So let's look, for example, let's find a state where he got a lot of votes. The state of Idaho, H. Ross Perot got 27% of the vote, yet he got 0 electoral college votes. He didn't win the most. So even though 27% of the state voted for him, George H.W. Bush won. And you see, you don't need a majority of votes in a state to win all of the electoral college votes. You need a plurality, meaning the most votes. So George H.W. Bush got 42%, meaning more people in Idaho voted against him than for him. Yet, because he won the most votes, he got their 4 electoral college votes. Let's see which state that H. Ross Perot got the highest, 30.4%. In Maine, he got 30.4%. George Bush got 30.4. Bill Clinton got 38.8. So 6 out of 10 people in Maine voted against Bill Clinton, yet he won because he got the most votes in that state, the 4 electoral college votes. So the system is really very, very hard. It makes it very hard for a minor party candidate to win. When you talk about someone getting 19% of the votes overall in the popular vote and getting 0 electoral college votes, it makes it very, very difficult for an outsider of the two major parties to get any success in the election. The last time that we had success with a minor party candidate was a very unusual election, which was, I believe, the election of 1960. No, it wouldn't have been. Why is it? Maybe it was it 76? Okay, what we're going to do here, we're going to go back. Well, how are we going to get back there? Okay, so oh, good. So we go to, I believe it was 68. Yes, 68. The last time that you have a independent candidate or a third party candidate get any electoral college votes. Why? Well, we don't want to criticize these 4 states, but they wanted segregation. We won't call them racist states because they've, changed, but At the time, you had a candidate who ran, who was George Wallace, who ran on the belief that we should allow for segregation in the South. So you have 5 southern states that overwhelmingly want segregation or against civil rights movement who vote for the minor party candidate. Oh boy, Alabama, 66%. So you have George Wallace, who ran as an American independent. I don't believe the party still exists. At the time, is able to get some electoral college votes. He doesn't win the election, but he is able to win a few states. I don't know that you'll ever see that again. But that would be the last election where a independent or third party candidate was able to win some electoral college votes. So it is possible. Um, the last thing. So why do we keep this system? Well, small states are overrepresented, meaning every state gets 2 senators, regardless of the population. So small states are slightly more important in this process. They have slightly more electoral votes than they should have because they get 2 electors for the 2 senators in Wyoming, and California gets 2 electors, even though they have millions more people, based on the fact that the Senate, every state has 2. So small states are slightly overrepresented. And furthermore, when you look at elections, and if we were to go back to Real Clear Politics in the 2012 election, come on, you have a state, well, let's find a state like New Hampshire. Only 4 electoral votes, but they're important because they're a toss up state. So the only way you're going to change this system is doing a constitutional amendment, which is 38 out of 50 states ratifying a change to the Constitution that would change it from a electoral vote for president to maybe an overall number of votes for the entire country. And small states are never going to approve that. So it's never going to happen. We've talked, or politicians have talked about modifying the system. It's not going to happen because small states like Nevada, even Colorado to a degree, those states want to have influence in this process. Iowa with only 6 electoral votes. They have influence because they're toss-up states, and they're part of the 146 in 2012 that mattered to the candidates. So this system, unfortunately or fortunately, is here to stay because there's never going to be enough support to change the Constitution to anything other than the Electoral College. So, have a good night. Or actually, have a good lunch. Well, if you're 7th period, you've already had lunch. Okay, have a good day. Peace.